Who attacked Jade Cargill? I love a who done it angle, and I've got to say this one has got the potential to be a great one on SmackDown. Only a few weeks old, but there's so many different potential storylines and twists we could get from this, because many women on the Raw and SmackDown roster have the potential to be guilty with what Jade Cargill was doing around the time of the attack. If we look at it very quickly, Jade Cargill was set to go into War Games. She was taken out, and your initial thought would be maybe someone from the heel team could have taken her out. But could it be a case that someone from the face team could have taken her out? We don't know. She's a women's tag team champion. Is one of the tag teams unhappy that they can't take the belts off of Bianca and Jade, therefore they took one of them out in the parking lot? That is certainly another idea potential as well. Jade Cargill was set to enter the Women's United States Championship tournament, and she didn't get to do so because she was attacked. There was also someone from NXT who replaced her. Again, there's so much going on here. And last but not least, I mean, Jade Cargill is not going to return for the foreseeable future that we know. There is someone that is now replacing Jade as a tag team partner, co-champions alongside Bianca Belair, and that actually could make an argument of, did Naomi do it? So we have many different possibilities of who it was going to be. So I'm going to go through all the names for us now, and at the end I'm going to give my prediction of who I think done it. But I think we've got some great storyline beats we could go with in the meantime, and I think we could make this to be a lot of fun, because if I was fantasy booking with this, let's drag this out. Let's make this as much fun as possible. So let's start then with War Games. Obviously, War Games was the match that was taking place. You felt that was the most likely people that could have attacked Jade at the time. Obviously, in that match you had Liv Morgan from Monday Night Raw, the Women's World Champion, alongside Raquel Rodriguez. Did they look at Bianca and Jade as a threat at that point? They were actually going for the Women's Tag Team Championships, didn't get the job done. Did Raquel do the dirty work? There's certainly a potential that that could be an option. It's not going to be my prediction, but certainly could be an option. Next, you have the trio of Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Obviously, they're on the same show on SmackDown. They can face each other each and every week. Nia does not want people going for a title. She probably knew if someone was to lose in War Games, her title could become vulnerable. Maybe a new #1 contender could be established. However, Nia did get through Jade Cargill in arguably one of the worst matches of the year, just because it was a DQ and it never got started. She was able to be more clever than Jade earlier in the year, but would she get through that a second time? Time would tell. But for me, again, not a prediction, but certainly there was an option that perhaps the War Games team could have been a factor. If you look at the face side of it, for me it's more interesting because Bayley took her spot. Now, if you look at the team that we had obviously Bianca Belair, of course, is her tag team partner. We have Naomi. Those two teamed with Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 40. So, you know, almost like a super group that they were. You also had Io Sky, who was looking to challenge Liv at the time. I don't see how Io Sky would have been involved in the mix. And obviously, Rhea Ripley is someone that came in as well. Again, don't see how she would have been factored into this. Her focus was Liv Morgan. But Bayley, who replaced her, is interesting because Bayley was someone that wasn't considered for the War Games match until Jade was taken out. Bianca didn't want a team with her, and Bayley had to earn Bianca's trust, which she did, helping Bianca win the advantage match. Did Bayley take out Jade Cargill? Or, even more fun, is this an excuse to frame Bayley later on? I said there'd be some fantasy booking in this video, and that's something I would like to play on later on in the video. So keep that in mind, because I don't think Bayley did it, but I think we can have a lot of fun with the idea that Bayley took the spot. However, as I moved on and said, the women's tag team title scene has been frantic. Any team could have gone for these titles here. Obviously, you look at, Pure Fusion Collective could have been a team that could have gone for this. You could have said Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson from NXT had gone for these titles, hadn't got the job done. Unholy Union were champions, couldn't get the titles back. There's so many different teams you could go through. Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, the list is endless. But I'm going to say, I don't think it is them, even though there probably is more of a case potentially for Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. They will remain on the maybe pole for me, and the reason for that is the Women's United States Championship Tournament. Now, Jade Cargill was set to be in the first round, of course, in the triple threat match, which of course I think Michin actually won that match in the end. I think it also featured Piper Niven, and the replacement in that match was none other than Lash Legend. So that's why I'm keeping her to the side for now, because there was a moment when we had the women's tag team title match at Crown Jewel that Jade and Lash had a bit of a standoff. There was something there, and there was something to build upon. So there would be a very exciting and unique way to get Lash Legend onto the main roster. However, I'm not having her down as the main culprit. Again, fantasy booking slightly playing a part into this. Keep it in mind as we go towards the end of the video. Now, we go back then, and we mentioned about the women's tag team titles. Jade is out right now. Bianca Belair was almost forced to relinquish the championships, has said that she wants to find out who done it. Someone has stepped up to the plate to make sure that we have a free bird rule going on. Someone can help Bianca defend those titles in the meantime, and of course is Naomi. Like I mentioned earlier on, she teamed with Bianca and Jade at WrestleMania 40. Makes a lot of sense that she steps in here in this spot. However, Naomi is the almost person, if you want, I think is the right way to put it. She has gone for the Women's Championship, could not get the job done against Nia Jax. She has gone for the Women's United States Championship, couldn't get the job done. And when it comes to the Terrific Trio, Naomi was the one left on the sidelines. Could Naomi be a bit bitter? She needs a bit of a character change, in my personal opinion. The glow has faded out. It's almost, it's not the same as what it was back in 2016. And Naomi has come back to WWE. She's certainly improved as a performer. However, I think the gimmick needs changing. I would love to see a heel turn from Naomi. I think that would be a lot of fun. Would be a unique twist as well, looking to help Bianca, but purely just because of the fact it was taking out Jade to get her out of the picture. However, it's not my final prediction. You know where I'm going to go with this. Bianca Belair is the tag team partner of Jade Cargill. Now, what's very interesting and why I would suggest this name, Liv Morgan said it herself after Crown Jewel when they started having the feud with Liv and Raquel against Jade and Bianca. And that simply was that, well, Jade, you're going to need to keep an eye on Bianca, because the second she realizes that you're going to be better than her, she's going to turn on you. An interesting line, and slightly paraphrased from me as well, but it's not word for word correct, but it was along the lines of that Bianca is keeping you as a teammate for now. The second she realizes that you may be establishing yourself as the new EST over Bianca, Bianca will not like it and she will take you out. That makes a lot of sense to me, because let's be honest, when you see two single stars come together, especially with Jade Cargill having the fanfare and the expectations on her shoulders, Bianca being the established, helping Jade as well get through the first year of WWE, that's why they were doing a bit of the tag team stuff, holding the women's tag team titles. If you want to build that match to WrestleMania, it's an interesting way to go, isn't it? So let's keep Bianca on the table. Last name I'm just going to mention, someone that's not around right now, is Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair obviously will be due to return to SmackDown imminently. Would be an interesting way for her to come back. My only way of seeing that could make any logical sense is the fact that we were teasing with Charlotte and Bianca as tag team champions, or certainly as teammates, looking to then break away and then do the singles match at WrestleMania 40. Could be a way of actually taking out Jade Cargill just to get to Bianca. It's the only logical way I can think of it. Again, I don't see it. So we're going to take all the moving parts that I said we're going to keep on the table, and then we're going to work with it. So we're going to keep Bayley on the table, especially the idea of fitting in with the War Games match. We're going to see Lash Legend taking the spot of Jade Cargill in the Women's United States Championship tournament. Naomi has filled into the spot to keep the tag titles in the meantime. Who knows if Bianca didn't beg for that, because I think Bianca is the person that has actually taken out Jade Cargill. I think when those words were said from Liv Morgan, she knew that it was inevitably going to happen, and she didn't want Jade to take her out first. Therefore, she jumped in and did so. She believes she's the true star of the team. In the meantime, with Naomi as the tag team partner, if she can keep those women's tag team championships, she can show that she can not need Jade Cargill as a tag team partner. However, I do think that it is going to fail at some point. I think Naomi is going to let the side down, and I think that potentially could lead to maybe some sort of problem with Bianca and Naomi, where I think Bianca will beat Naomi and Naomi will move to the side for the time being. However, I do think that Bianca is going to frame Bayley. I think that that's where the fantasy booking really kicks in, because when Jade comes back, if it is framed as Bayley, you can have a fun storyline with that. You can have a match with Bayley versus Jade Cargill. Bayley being a locker room leader, established, great in ring, can put someone over at a notice. WWE, she's done it so many times in the past. She can lose to Jade Cargill. And of course, when I think it finally gets revealed that it wasn't Bayley and it was Bianca Belair, I think that's when Bianca can establish and get some backup, and we get the call up from NXT of Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. I think it'd be quite fun for Bianca to lead a faction in WWE, and I think that could be quite cool, because then it actually proves that Bianca perhaps didn't get the job done on her own. Maybe she got some help with Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson taking out Jade Cargill. That's how she knew she could get the job done, because deep down she knows she's not truly the EST anymore, and that she has fear that Jade Cargill could take her spot. That's how you can build then to the WrestleMania match of Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair. And of course, Bianca Belair with her teammates running behind her as well, of Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Those two perhaps can go for the women's tag team titles, but they can also help push Bianca back into the women's championship program, perhaps even making Bianca versus Jade going for a top title. But for me, I would like to keep it just as a personal feud, if you will, for WrestleMania, certainly to begin with, until we can establish Jade as a true single star moving forward. So that's who I think took out Jade Cargill. I think it was Bianca Belair. I think she's got some help from Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. I think she's going to frame Bayley, and I think we could be in for a fun time on SmackDown. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this is going to happen? Do you think it's not going to happen? Do you think someone else took out Jade Cargill? Let me know now in the comments below. I'd like to know your opinions. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button, share with a friend, subscribe as well, and check out this video on the side of your screen as well if you want to see more from this channel. Thank you all for watching. Look after yourselves and each other. I'll see you for the next video.